What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. Many people understand the situation happening with Carmelo Anthony. He is now being released on an early bond, and that bond was reduced to $250,000. All right, and many people didn't like that. It was even a lot of blacks that didn't like that. But this is what has happened, okay? And so he's now out, and the family who raised over $400,000 has had to move, okay? Now, people are trying to say, look. They're about to use all the money that they've gotten from the case to buy new cars, new homes, and things like that, right? This is what they are going to say, right? They're going to do this. They're going to use the money. They're going to scam. But I also want to talk about the judge that basically reduced his bond. Her name, I believe it's Angela. If I'm not mistaken, her name is Angela Tucker. She didn't have any dog in the fight. She reduced the bond, and her life has been threatened. Her life is in danger, okay? So now what they're trying to do is to paint the narrative that this young man and his family, they are scamming the people. Let me just say this real quick. Both of them, as parents, they're a two-parent home. Dad manages a car lot. He went to Centennial High School in Frisco, okay? Frisco, Texas is an upscale city, all right? So they had to been doing somewhat okay to be living there now. Now they're living inside of a gated community, someplace about $3,400 a month, $4,000 a month, and they're saying he got a new car and things like that. Well, if he had an old car, what would happen? They would know it. So he has to get another car if he wants to drive around, or the famous drive around, and he's on ankle monitor, so that he's not going to be noticed so much. I'm not justifying it as if it's like, oh, you trying to get a scammer, but it's the truth, okay? This is what happens when your life is threatened. This is what you got to do. Even if you're a person, you turn in state's evidence, you call it snitching, right? These people who snitch, they go into what? Those like identity protection programs, okay? They live somewhere under a false identity. They need money to support themselves. Oh, they go into witness protection, okay? And I just don't get it, man. Like, what is wrong with some of the blacks that have such a problem with how this is playing out? One of the things that I always hear, and as you guys know, I've voted Republican the last 2 times. I'm more Republican leaning in my politics than I am Democratic. It does not mean that I'm not pro-black, okay? But here's what I've heard from people who just dislike the black community or have a hard chagrin for it, or just, very hostile towards the black community. You blacks don't even support each other. You blacks don't support each other. You can't even run your own movements. All your help come from George Soros and all of the Black Lives Matter funders. So now you have a situation where you see the black community come together and support this kid. Now, I'm sure you're going to have people sympathetic towards blacks that are doing it. I've heard that we have had rappers donate, NBA Youngboy, things like that. So the black community comes together. They put this money up for this young man. The young man moves. He's able to get the financial assistance that he needs. He's now, it looks like things are going a little bit more in his favor, and that's happening. And so now what you're saying is he's a scammer. There are many people who are scammers. Dr. Umar Johnson is one of them, okay? But this young man and what they're doing for their family, I can only imagine what his family is going through. I can only imagine what his mom is going through. Both sides of the family, even the Metcalf family, all right? I'm a pro-black, but man, I don't want nobody to lose their child. And I'm sure that many other people in the black community don't want nobody to lose their child. That's the last thing any of us would have wanted to happen. Look, if somebody could have caught a fade and that would have been it, that would have been cool. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go like that. For them to lose this kid, no. I don't want nobody to lose their child. But at the same time, none of us can bring them back. And I've seen so many cases where whites do the same thing. Kyle Rittenhouse, you think that he didn't have a bunch of threats on his life? Yes, he did. What about Nick Fuentes? Nick Fuentes his address got doxxed. Remember what happened? What happened with Nick Fuentes? There was a man who killed 2 people. He came to Nick Fuentes' house. It was caught on the ring cam. He had a gun with him. And the guy said, hey, Nick, are you there? Now, these are somebody that's probably liberals. He wasn't coming over there to play a basketball with him, that's for sure. He had a pistol with him. He also had a bow and arrow. So he was coming to do some hunting, all right? And then luckily for Nick Fuentes, he didn't what? He didn't answer. That was the best thing that he could have ever done. He didn't answer. So he didn't answer. Then what happened? Everybody, including Myron and all of the guys in Fresh and Fit, said, hey, we need to donate money to who? Nick Fuentes, so that he can live and move from that address. And sure enough, what happened? Guys started donating money. And this is, again, like I said, this is Nick Fuentes, a person who's accused of hate speech and all kind of stuff. They got the money and got Nick Fuentes out of there. They got him out of there. He now lives at some undisclosed location. Want to know why? Because when you are being attacked, when that happens, you need to get your ass out of there. You think that if you wouldn't send the money to Nick Fuentes to get a new car, he wouldn't take it? Yes, he'd take it. Oh no, I don't want to take it from him. No, he asked you for all the money you can give him. He will take it every single day of the week. You're damn right, he will take it. It's absolutely true. He'll take it. And anybody who believes differently is a liar. But it's only okay if white people get these opportunities. That's the only way that it matters. If white folk get the opportunity, then don't nobody got nothing to say about it. It's completely okay then. And I'm seeing some of these blacks that are getting mad that this is happening. Should whites be the only people that when they kill somebody, they can bond out? They can get a bond reduced? They can go live in a nice new neighborhood? Then they can turn around and sell books after it and go on tours? Especially if it's involved in killing black people. What about Zimmerman? Okay, Zimmerman killed Trayvon Martin. He got off free. He was bothering the kid, went out of his way, all right? And then Zimmerman has been able to basically tour the entire America talking about this, doing interviews and getting paid. For the most part, that's exactly what has happened. When he got death threats, you think that he didn't get money to move somewhere? Of course he did. He got money to move. He got money to do a whole bunch of stuff. Y'all just got a problem with this. That's the issue. And to me, it just doesn't make any sense. So guys, you think it's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Appreciate for you, Karmelo. We're out.